Can we please talk about UFC Vegas 38 coming up this weekend, headlined by Thiago Santos and a man that has apparently been gone for ages. Apparently it's his longest layoff. Johnny Walker, apparently he is coming back from his longest layoff ever. I've got to be honest, I didn't notice he was gone. I thought it was fairly recently that he fought Ryan Spann. But my whole perception of time is clearly completely off. But anyway, I'm going to be breaking down a few of these fights. It's a deceptively good card. It's a sneakily good card, this one. And there are some good value odds here. Again, all the betting is terrible. I don't advocate gambling at all. So I'm not saying that these bets will come off, but I'm saying that the odds are longer than they should be. Big difference. Anyway, I'm going to be getting into this card in the Burt Locker Fights in 15 for UFC Vegas 38. So let's start with a 155-pound weight division. Alexander Hernandez taking on Mike Breeden. Now, you would be forgiven because at first you look at Mike Breeden. He has no photo. He has zero reach. He has zero height. And you're thinking, how the hell is somebody who is zero height and zero reach going to take on a killer like Alexander Hernandez? For some reason, right? Let me know in the comments. Does Alexander Hernandez, are you thinking he's a killer? Because I thought he was. I thought he was like an absolute murderer. And then I kind of looked at his record and it's like, actually, you know what? Your record is not what I thought it was. It's patchy at best. And you got KO'd by Donald Cerrone. I mean, look, I'm not being funny. Look, Donald Cerrone is an excellent striker and he can catch people. But come on, man. Like, probably should be beating Cerrone if you're considered a killer. Either way, I'm saying, like, because Cerrone, I've got a huge amount of respect for Donald Cerrone and I will pay to watch him fight every single goddamn time. But a loss on your record to Donald, you know, post 2015 is not great. Anyway, okay, I'm trying to say it without talking trash on Donald Cerrone because I love the guy. I think honestly, Donald Cerrone is a fantastic kickboxer and he's a finisher. So you know what, there's no real shame in getting caught, but still, come on. Come on, Alexander. Come on. Anyway, my initial thought was that Hernandez was going to just batter this guy, but you know he got beat by Thiago Moses as well. You know, his record is actually pretty hit and miss. Now, I have never heard of Breeden. Mike Breeden, never heard of him. He's 10-3, no UFC experience. He's been in the LFA though. 8 knockouts / TKOs in 10 wins. On a 2-fight win streak. You know what? Considering he is like a plus 450 underdog, 4.50. That's 3.5 to 1 just on the win. Gotta have a go on that. So there's some real value in that because Alexander Hernandez, you know, he might come out and look fantastic, but the guy has shown that he is beatable. Do you know what I mean? At the very least. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going to take a punt on the guy with no picture. The guy with no reach, the guy with no chance, according to the bookies. I'm going to stick a little bet on that because I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. You know, and plus, you know what, MMA, anything can happen, can't it? It's Aspen Ladd against Macy Chiasson. Now, I'm a big fan of Aspen Ladd. Aspen Ladd is absolutely brilliant, and you know what? This isn't as cut and dry as some people might think because she's actually giving up quite a lot of size to Macy Chiasson. Macy Chiasson stands at 5'11", and Aspen Ladd is only 5'6". But Aspen Ladd is just very, very good. I mean, outside of her loss to Jermaine Durandamy, and I don't know if you remember that fight, but basically it was a bit of a weird stoppage. I stand by the stoppage. I think it was a good stoppage. A lot of people said it was stopped early. I'm not convinced it was, but either way, Aspen Ladd got caught by, you know, Jermaine Durandamy. Like, say what you will, she's one of the best female kickboxers out there. Her kickboxing credentials are ridiculous. So getting caught in a knockout by Jermaine Durandamy is not as earth-shattering as you might think. And outside of that, she's perfect inside the cage and inside the octagon, okay? And particularly in her last fight, Yana Kunitskaya is actually a really good fighter in her own right. And Aspen Ladd kind of dominated and managed to get the TKO in round 3. So I'm going to take Aspen Ladd in this one. Purely because, right, she is coming as the favourite, right? Macy Chiasson, who is, like, you look at who she's had wins over, it's like Marion Renaud. Come on, Marion Renaud has been mentally retired for like 10 years now. You know, you saw her against Misha Tate. She didn't really even want to fight. And from memory, I don't remember. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember Macy Chiasson versus Marion Renaud. I don't remember it. But I bet Marion Renaud barely turned up. So, like I said, and then you look at who Aspen Ladd's been fighting. She's just, I don't know. I think Aspen Ladd is probably just on a level slightly above. Now, one thing that draws my attention is Aspen Ladd is obviously the favourite in this fight. But where I do see some value, now I'm not saying that this will come off. I'm saying there is value because I feel like the odds are longer than they should be. Aspen Ladd has 9 wins, 6 of them by knockout / TKO. So 2/3 of the time she wins by stoppage by way of TKO or knockout, right? Currently, you are getting +4 on the TKO, KO for Aspen Ladd. So that's 3-1. 3-1 on that when 2/3 of the time, that's exactly what she does, is an absolute bargain, and I'm putting that on the bet slip. Boom. Aspen Ladd, TKO, KO, 3-1 on the bet slip. Job done. Terrible bet. Awful. That's my pick of the week, by the way. Not that I'm advocating gambling, just it's my pick of the week. Probably put it on, go on, stick it, go on. Keep the stakes low, and the bet's terrible. But yeah, anyway. Jotko versus Misha Cirkunov. Now this one's really interesting, right? Because look at the state of Misha Cirkunov. Did you forget about that dude? Do you know what I mean? Because thing is, right, bear in mind, he used to fight at light heavyweight because that's where he ran into trouble against Johnny Walker, who's actually in the main event for this one. Now, he got hit with a big knee. Johnny Walker caught him, and you know what, there's no shame in getting caught by those guys. And he did seem a little kind of short for light heavyweight. I don't want to use the term undersized because look at the dude. Look at that dude. He is built like a fire hydrant. That's a very American expression as well. But either way, that is about as solid as you get. Now, Ryan Spann also beat him. That was also at light heavyweight. And the only thing is like, I was looking at Jotko. Like, Jotko was kind of a relatively new fighter. He's been going since 2013. Fighting in the UFC since 2013. That is ridiculous. How did that happen? Did I fall asleep? What happened there? Do you know what I mean? Because I seem to remember Jotko coming in with a fair amount of hype behind him. And, you know, but then he lost to Branch. His record has been patchy at best. So for me, as good as Jotko is, I do think he's perfectly beatable. Now, Jotko is coming in as the favourite here, but I think that's a name recognition thing because, again, I do feel like he has that certain amount of name brand. Like Jotko, I've heard of him, and I know that he's supposed to be pretty good. So I feel like that's why he's coming in as the favourite. I think he probably should be the favourite, but what catches my eye is the fact that Misha Cirkunov, right, 15 wins. 8 by submission. 5 submissions in the UFC alone. He's only had 10 UFC fights, right? And 5 of them have ended by Misha Cirkunov getting the submission. Do you know what I mean? I think he got a Peruvian necktie on Jimmy Crute. I think he got a head and arm triangle on Ion Cutelaba. He has submitted some really good guys. Really good guys. So when I see that he is 4.33, that's, you know, but roughly 3.33 to 1 to get the submission, I feel like Cirkunov has submitted better fighters than Jotko. Therefore, I am taking the submission at 4.33. That's going on the bet slip. That is a terrible bet. Awful. Just terrible stuff. Anyway, we have then got Kevin Holland. Big mouth himself. He's on his way back. He's coming back against Carl Dorcas. Now, Carl Dorcas is the brother of Chris Dorcas, who fought last week, looked very impressive against Shamil Abdurakhimov. Yeah, he knocked the guy out twice, basically. But either way, this is his brother. I don't know if he's younger or older, but I would say that he's at least smaller because he fights in the middleweight division. Now, he's not quite hit his stride yet. I don't really know much about Carl Dorcas, other than I believe he's probably a jiu-jitsu fighter. He fights out of Martinez Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and 8 out of his 10 wins are by submission. He hasn't got any in the UFC, though. No submissions in the UFC. Now, he's going to be coming in as an underdog here, and rightly so, because let's be fair, Holland has fought much better guys. You know what I mean? His last 2 fights didn't go his way, but let's be fair, they're against Brunson and Vettori, and both of those guys are title kind of challenger, like in those echelons, aren't they? So there's no real shame in any of that. Now, Holland has lost by submission twice in his career. One to Brendan Allen and one to Rafael Lovato Jr., who was the guy who beat Gegard Mousasi for the Bellator middleweight title. Now, obviously no shame in either of those, but what draws my attention is that obviously, yeah, look, Chris Dorcas, he is a pretty good submission guy. I mean, you can see that. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and 8 out of 10 wins by submission. So you can see that there. Now, the blueprint has been written to beat Holland. I want to see how good Dorcas's takedowns are. If his takedowns are any good, then Holland is in some real trouble here, because once it goes to the ground, it's probably only going one way. Now, they're both the same kind of size. Normally, Holland has a slight kind of size advantage. He doesn't here. They're both 6'3". Holland does have a slight reach, but what gets me is, obviously, look, the blueprint has been written. We've seen that once Holland gets taken down, he kind of struggles. If Carl Dorcas can use some wrestling to get the fight to the ground and then uses Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I think that Kevin Holland is in real trouble here. And the submission for Dorcas is 7.5. That's 6.5 to 1 on the submission for a man who has 10 wins, 8 of which are submissions. Like, you know, he's only going to win 1 of 3 ways. And I think he might not win this fight. It's a tough fight because Kevin Holland is good. But I think there's value there. There's value there. I feel like the odds should be shorter on that. Considering, 80% of his wins, he likes to get the submission. You've got to feel like it should be shorter than 6.5 to 1. So that is why I'm putting that on the bet slip, because that's a terrible bet. Kevin Holland's probably got this, but we'll find out. If Dorcas is anything like his brother, he's going to be pretty good. But yeah, we will soon see. Anyway, let's move on to the main event. The main event, obviously, Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's been gone for a bit, and I didn't think... You know what? A lot of people were kind of real high on Johnny Walker, saying that he was going to be the next big thing, saying he was going to beat John Jones. And I call bullshit on that straight away, to be fair. Because as spectacular as Johnny Walker is, he is pretty defensively poor, like, honestly. Like, he's offense off the charts. Fantastic. Because he can throw out these crazy kind of moves, like that giant knee over Cirkunov, who's also fighting on this card. He goes for the spectacular, but I don't feel like his fundamentals are really that good. And that is where Thiago Santos is going to really take him to school, I think, because Thiago Santos's kickboxing fundamentals are so rock solid. His fundamentals are so solid, I don't think that Johnny Walker is going to be able to catch him with anything really huge and spectacular. Watch the first round knockout happen now, guys, just to really tick me off. Anyway, I think the smart money here is on Thiago Santos. Unfortunately, the bookies actually agree with me. I didn't think they would. I thought that Walker would come in as the favourite because of the name recognition, because of the hype. But the bookies have got it bang on here. Thiago Santos is coming in as, not a huge favourite, but he is coming in as the favourite. But for me, I just feel like Johnny Walker leaves far too many openings for Santos to not take advantage. I feel like Santos, over 5 rounds, is probably going to find the stoppage. He's probably going to cut him down with leg kicks and he's going to be in and out. And I feel like Santos is too powerful, too technical, and too quick. And his fundamentals, he's going to keep it simple, whereas Johnny Walker is going to be going for the spectacular. And I feel like it's going to come back and bite him in the ass. And that's where Thiago Santos is going to find that knockout, which is just even money at the moment. And you know what? That's going on the bet slip because I'm relatively confident that that is how it's going to happen. You know what? You're getting not bad money on the decision there. It could easily go to a decision, but honestly, yeah, for me personally, I just feel like Thiago Santos is going to do enough to get the knockout over 5 rounds. So when you put all of those together, you've got Mike Breeden to just win, like straight up. Aspen Ladd to get the TKO. You've got Misha Cirkunov submission. Carl Dawkins submission. So 2 submissions on the accumulator. That's never good. And then you've got Thiago Santos to get the knockout. That is a pretty respectable 1,170 to 1, and I am having a go on that all day because it's like a lottery ticket, except you get to see people punch each other in the face. And I will be doing a wrap up of this on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, probably more likely Wednesday. And yeah, if you're watching this on a Friday, thank you very much for tuning into the Patreon. It is massively appreciated. And yeah, if you're watching this on Saturday, I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please leave a comment. Just if you didn't enjoy it, leave a comment. It helps with the algorithms. Like and share. Do all of that good stuff. And I will see you on Wednesday. Until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.